I guess I could use adjectives. It's the things, the drivers. I wake up and I focus on joy, I focus on peace, and I focus on unconditional love. That's what I want to give the world. Whether the world give that back to me or not, that's fine. That's what I want to give out, and that's what I want to get out of it. But the question, who am I, is something that I struggle with, and I think most people struggle with. Could you try to use some type of assigned roles that you was given, doctor, professor, author, whatever? And I'm none of those things. I'm just a person trying to live a limitless existence, and hopefully my human experience inspire other sentient beings to say, you know what, I could live a limitless life and figure out whatever that life is for them and live it. So I'm just trying to be a living inspiration. I want to be God inspired. We're everything and we're nothing. So to me it's all about how can you stay neutral and constantly stay fluid, but expand yourself to go beyond whatever limitations you put in your mind or people put on you. And I felt like I lost myself with trying to put on the mask of being a thug, being an athlete, and all these things where there are little parts that you love about it, but at the end of it, you're really trying to find out who you are and what is your purpose on this earth. So I think those are the things that sort of pigeonholed me into trying to be a thug or this idea, this tough guy and selling drugs and all of these things, because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be liked and loved. And I felt like this environment gave me all of those things that I was looking for. But I think what happened was I always wanted to be seen. I wanted people approval. I wanted love. I wanted to be noticed. And I think what happened is that become an addictive personality. People do it now with likes and shares and, attention on social media. And the attention in the social media that I had was going to school and feeling like people wouldn't bully you. They wouldn't pick on you and they'll like you, or the girls that think you look good, the guys that think you tough, you come off as a class clown. So all of those things that made me feel safe in my environment, those survival techniques or tactics is what sort of created this person that always sort of yearned or desired for the world's approval. And I keep thinking about the scripture that say, be in this world, but not of this world. And if you ever try to be friends with this world, you truly are going to lose yourself in it. And I felt like I lost myself with trying to put on the mask of being a thug, being an athlete, and all these things where there are little parts that you love about it, but at the end of it, you're really trying to find out who you are and what is your purpose on this earth. So I think those are the things that sort of pigeonholed me into trying to be a thug or this idea, this tough guy and selling drugs and all of these things, because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be liked and loved. And I felt like this environment gave me all of those things that I was looking for. We all want to fit in. We all want to be accepted and be loved. And I think what I learned over the years is that once you're able to step back and say, I don't need none of that, I have everything I need, and you really, truly, truly learn to love yourself and value yourself, you realize it was all just a show. It's not real. It's an illusion. Because I don't think any of us inherently are bad. I think we just continue to feed that wolf, and then next thing you know, you got people committing murders or doing whatever because that's what they kept feeding. And I think it just, you hit a crossroads and decide, well, where am I going to go? Am I going to walk the road less traveled, or am I going to go with everybody else? And I think what you have to realize is, in order to find out who you really are, you got to let go of that crowd and that group that you feel comfortable walking with and get uncomfortable. So to see the impacts of what drugs are able to do with somebody I know, it really hit home for me. And then it was a guy that I sold drugs to that had his two kids with him. And I was trying not to look at his kids, and I told him to take his kids home. And when they were leaving, his kid made eye contact with me. And it was like my soul, just connected with that kid's soul, and I just didn't feel comfortable. So it was like my days was numbered after that. I couldn't do it no more. I just didn't feel right. Morally, I didn't feel right doing it. So that's what really broke me away from it. College is Methodist University now, and it's a D3, and I was like, man, I'm gonna start. I'm a Division I recruit. And when I went in, I got redshirted. So I was very, very depressed. And a red shirt just means that you can't play that year. You have to sit out. So I was depressed, and I started hanging with the Bloods and almost shot somebody. And when I almost shot somebody, that's what really changed my life. I joined the Air Force, and when I went into the Air Force, met my wife, fell in love with life. And then this lady named Sergeant Lorraine Chapman was like, you need to go back to college. So she taught me into going to school, and I fell in love with learning. 3 college degrees later, Airman of the Year, Airman of the Quarter. So I'm starting to feel confident in myself. A lot of times when you see an obstacle, right? You look at it like this thing is in your way. And I would say, kind of like Taoism say, what end up being in the way becomes the way. So you don't want to circumvent it. You don't want to run around it. You want to meet it head on. Maybe it's a relationship. You're struggling with when you're around this person, they make you feel a certain way. You got to experience it. It doesn't mean you need to keep that person in your life. They may be toxic for you, but you need to know why you feel the way you feel. What is this saying about yourself? Maybe it's you're afraid of heights. You need to face that fear because you want to be able to live life without feeling like you're a slave to anything. You want to feel free. So to me, you can't run away from those things that you see as a challenge. You got to face it. You got to face all those fears. And once you do, you get to learn a little bit more about yourself, and you see that really the joy is on the opposite side of fear. So I would tell people to try to find a way to get comfortable being uncomfortable in those situations that challenge you, and realize that's your test. And once you pass that test, you'll never have to face that test again, but there will be another test. So I think it's very, very important to meet it head on, whatever that is.